Hey guys, it's Miss Hofeld. I am back at it. Today is Monday. It's our first day of spring break if you go to Edison School. And I am going to take some time to relax, to do some things at home, maybe to read some of my own other books that I've been working on. But today I am going to read a little bit of You Go First to you again. It's really important as a student and as an adult that over long breaks, we're still doing a little bit something to keep our brains going, reading, writing, maybe some math practice. So today I'm going to do a little bit of reading for about 20 minutes again, and then I'm going to go do something fun. I think I might go FaceTime with one of my friends from college who I haven't talked to in a little bit. So I'm going to do some reading now so that I can have some fun later. And if there's anything that you guys want to share that you're doing over break with your family or something fun you've been doing while you're kind of stuck at home, feel free to put it in the comments below today. We'll keep it kind of fun down there since it's our first day of spring break. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to read our next chapter. Life According to Ben, Part 5. Ben entered the lunchroom like George Washington crossing the Delaware. It was the evolution of Ben, day one. Time to meet people. He was already so far behind. In the campaign, in adolescence, in life. He didn't even know who his opponents were, but it didn't matter. He would run on his own merits. He straightened his shoulders and stood tall. He cleared his throat and wiped his sweaty palms against his pants. His heart thundered. But if he wanted to win this battle, he had to charge through his fears. His shoes click-clacked as he made his way through the double doors, but no one noticed him. The lunchroom was noisy, much noisier than the one at Lannister Elementary, which he hadn't thought possible. Recyclable materials were everywhere. Crinkling water bottles, dented soda cans, plastic straws. The rectangular tables overflowed with them. They also overflowed with sixth graders. There were boys to his right, hunched over an iPad. There were girls to his left, popping sodas open. Kids were everywhere, pushing out and pulling in chairs, balancing lunch trays, biting apples, shoving food into their mouths, talking and gawking, and losing themselves in conversation. Ben eyed them, wondering who he should approach first. He decided on the iPad table. The boys were huddled around a game he didn't recognize, something with zombies strutting out from wrecked cars. A boy in a Louisiana State University Tigers hat splattered one of them just as Ben walked up. "Ooh, Theo, that was awesome!" the other boys said in succession. Ben had a low opinion of zombies as combatants, so he was less impressed. Not that he was going to say so. Zombies technically didn't have brains, so they would fail miserably in a battle of wits, logistically speaking. If Ben ever encountered a zombie, he'd repeat the famous quote attributed to Shakespeare. "I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see that you are unarmed." Not that a video game needed logic. Minecraft didn't make much sense either, if you really thought about it. You can't build a waterfall in the middle of an erupting volcano, for example. Not that Ben had ever tried to do that, but still. Who are you?" Ben blinked. He heard the groans of a dying zombie and nothing else. 100 pairs of eyes looked back at him. At least it felt like 100. Theo and his friends were gaping at Ben as Ben stupidly stood there. A burn of embarrassment bloomed in his chest, but he willed it away and stuck out his hand. "Hi," he said as cheerfully as possible. "Channel your inner President Carter," he told himself. Friendly and personable. Friendly and personable. "My name is Ben Boxer." They studied Ben's hand like it had sprouted from his nose. A robotic voice grumbled from the iPad. "Would you like to continue, soldier?" "I'm running for student council president," announced Ben. Theo raised his eyebrows. And I'd love to have your vote." "Easy does it." The boys waited for him to say something else. "I've never missed a single day of school," said Ben, show of dedication. "And I'm a friend to the environment," he added, show of personal values. "Which environment?" said Theo. "Pluto?" The boys erupted like hyenas, but the joke was on them. Pluto could never sustain complex life forms, much less humans. Pluto's atmosphere sustained winds of up to 225 miles per second, and the temperature sometimes reached minus 387 degrees Fahrenheit. Only, the joke wasn't on them. Not really. That much Ben knew. Thanks anyway, guys, Ben said. He pivoted on his heel and approached the neighboring table. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence, so said Calvin Coolidge. The next table was full of girls with identical ponytails right down to the type of ribbon. The only difference was the color of the ribbon and the shade of the ponytail. Yellow Ribbon was holding court. She had just asked the others if they could change one thing about themselves, what would it be? When they all fell silent to think, Ben said, "Nice ponytails." They swung his way. "My name is Ben Boxer." He stuck out his hand. The girls exchanged looks, unsure of what to do. Finally, the one closest to him, Purple Ribbon, shook his hand, and he continued on. "I'm running for student council president, and I'd love to have your vote." "Ben Boxer," Yellow Ribbon said, like it was a dirty word she needed to spit out. She didn't wait for him to answer. She huffed and not so casually stifled a laugh with her closed fist. "Yeah, we know." "We do?" said Purple Ribbon. There was something familiar about Yellow Ribbon. Ben's mind went through a series of mental flashcards. Yes, he knew this girl from somewhere, but where? It's not like he was acquainted with a million girls. He wasn't exactly Mr. Popular, clearly, but this experience would change that. The evolution of Ben, day one. "Yes," the girl said, "as in Ben Boxer, biggest dork in school." That's when he realized who she was. Sherry Bertrand, the girl who had cheated off Kyle's spelling paper that time. The girl who had been carted off in tears under the shadow of Ben's accusatory finger. Said Ben. "Also," Sherry continued, glaring at him, "that whole running for president thing and wanting our vote, not likely." Said Ben. "Newsflash, you have to be in the 8th grade to run for president. And you are so obviously not in 8th grade. You don't even look like you're in 6th grade. More like 3rd tops. 6th graders can only run for treasurer, and there's no way you'll win that either." "Ouch, Cher," Purple Ribbon said, frowning. "Do you have to be so—" "Listen," Sherry said, leaning forward on her elbows. "You won't win treasurer because I'm running for treasurer. So," she spread her arms, palms up, and shrugged as if to say, "So there's really no point for you to be in the race." "Oh," said Ben. "Did you know you have to give a speech in front of the whole grade on Friday?" Sherry fake frowned. "That's a lot of pressure for a 3rd grader." The girls laughed. Not quite the howls from the boys' table, but a laugh was a laugh, and when it was at someone else's expense. "Good one," mumbled Ben, his throat suddenly dry. He half waved and turned, saying, "Nice to meet you," as the laughter carried on. This next chapter is called Not Just Lunch. Rabbit Hole. In 2017, Haitian immigrant Dennis Estimon started a club at his Boca Raton high school called We Dine Together. Its purpose is to make sure no one eats lunch alone. Lunch wasn't lunch at West Middle School. Yes, they served food, but most kids got a bag of chips and a soda and sat outside. They all had their own spots, including Charlotte and Bridget. They made their way to the big tree near the soccer field and sat in its shade. "Hey," Charlotte said, squinting in the sun. "I was thinking, if you want to hang out with Sophie, maybe the 3 of us could go somewhere. She could come to my house, look at my dad's art books or something." Bridget used to love sitting on Charlotte's bedroom floor with one of Mr. Lockhart's heavy coffee table books spread across her lap. She and Charlotte would look at Michelangelo's naked statues and giggle. "Oh, speaking of Sophie and art books," said Bridget, "Sophie had an idea to start an art club, and she asked me to join. Dee Dee Montgomery will be in it too. She's in our class." Charlotte noticed that she said our class instead of my class, and somersaults turned in her belly. We mapped the whole thing out this morning, continued Bridget. She popped a Cheeto in her mouth. She could eat a whole bag without her fingers turning orange. It was the way she held them, with the very tips of her painted fingernails. When had she started painting her fingernails anyway? Do you want to invite her to my house after school? Asked Charlotte after a long pause. Instead of going to Red's, I mean. Maybe some of my dad's books will help with the art club. I don't know, Bridget sighed. I guess I can ask. If not, I can help you with your homework if you still need it. That is, if you don't go to Red's or something. Last week you said you needed help studying for Mr. Groskin's social studies test. Bridget looked into her bag of Cheetos like she was talking to them. Yeah, sure, she said. She paused. So, about art club. Charlotte watched an ant crawl in the dirt in front of them. Yeah? We'll probably have our meetings over lunch because Sophie can't stay after school most days. She has soccer practice. Somersaults. Tumble, tumble, tumble. They defied gravity. They somersaulted into Charlotte's throat, turned into a huge knot. But Sophie doesn't have a lunch, Charlotte said. The students at West were divided by A lunch and B lunch. The summer before 6th grade, Bridget and Charlotte had held Sphinx together and wished with all their might that they would get the same lunch. Sitting alone at lunch is a fate worse than death, Bridget had said. Her hands clasped over Charlotte's. Help us, Sphinx. And even though they meant it, they exploded into giggles. When they both got A lunch, they attributed it to the irrefutable powers of Egyptian quartz. I know, Bridget replied. She has study hall. So she already asked if she could use it for art club meetings. But Charlotte left the word hanging there and hoped Bridget would latch onto it. She didn't. That's the end of our 2 chapters. We're leaving off on page 87 if you've been following along in the book. Those chapters flew by so fast. This was a little bit shorter, but I am going to pause there. I want to remind you, since we're on break, I want you to share something down below, either that you're doing with your family or that you're doing at home while you're kind of laying low and staying home to be safe. Just something fun you've been doing. Today I woke up, I did some more yoga this morning, which was very, very relaxing. I got to talk to my sister on FaceTime for about 40 minutes, which was awesome. And I spent a little time doing my makeup today, which is something I enjoy doing normally when I'd either go out for dinner or go somewhere with my family or friends. And I decided I'd still do it today anyway, even though I'm just kind of staying home and maybe going for a walk later on. So those were some of the fun things I did today for my break. And I think I'm going to go FaceTime my friend from college and then watch a little TV after. So leave your comments. Let me know what you're up to this week. And let me know about the creative things you've been doing to keep yourself busy at home. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Thanks again for listening today.